Hi, welcome to Big Daddy Bakes. I'm Big Daddy, and today we're going to be making panettone. Panettone is a bread that's usually made around Christmas time. It has a wonderful fluffy texture and is studded with fruit. It's so good, you're just going to love making this one. So let's get to it and I'll show you how to do it. For this recipe you will need, for the starter, which you make a day ahead, you're going to need 3/4 cup of flour. You're going to need a pinch of instant yeast, and you're going to need 1/3 cup of water. You're going to mix that together and let it sit out on the counter for 8 to 12 hours. Then for the dough itself, you're going to need 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1/4 cup of water that is at around 105 degrees. You're going to need 2 large eggs at room temperature, 4 tablespoons of softened butter. This is butter that's been sitting out on the counter and is at room temperature. You're also going to need 1 teaspoon of vanilla paste or vanilla flavoring, 1/8 of a teaspoon of almond extract, and this is very powerful stuff, so 1/8 is about as much as you want to go. Don't overdo this, it will overwhelm the entire cake. Then you'll need a packet of yeast, 1 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/3 cup of sugar, and then we have our fruit mixture. You need anywhere from 1.5 cups to 2 cups of fruit. So in my case, I'm using 1/4 cup of raisins, golden raisins, then 1/2 cup of candied fruit from the grocery store, and then this is candied pineapple from the grocery store as well that I've chopped up. And the last thing you're going to need is a panettone mold or one of these paper packets. I ordered these, and they're very nice for giving as gifts because you don't have to worry about the pan, and it looks very nice. You can just plop your dough into it and put it in the oven. Alright, to start the recipe, I'm going to take my water that's at 105 degrees. I did temp it with a thermometer to make sure. Then I'm going to put in the sugar. I'm going to put in the instant yeast. And we're going to whisk that together and get it dissolved. Then I'm going to go ahead and add the eggs to the mixture. And we're going to add the second egg. And I'm just going to break up those. Then this is the starter that I made yesterday. I'm going to go ahead and put that in. This is going to give it a lot of flavor because the flavor develops overnight with the dough just sitting out on the counter and the yeast is working. It just makes a really nice taste to the bread. Then I'm going to add the flour. On top of the flour, I'm going to add the salt. And I'm going to let that go for a moment and let it get all mixed together. You can see this is rather soft. Of course, it's not kneaded near enough, but this is what you're looking for. It's kind of soft, and once we add the butter, it will spread out and kind of get cohesive. So I'm going to turn on the mixer. I'm going to take my butter and I'm just going to break off some pieces and add it. After it absorbs the butter, just keep letting it go. Once it gets those pieces in, then add the next. This is very much the way you would make a brioche, so there will be a lot more butter than this. But it's that gradual addition that makes it work, so it doesn't turn into greasy bread. Alright, and this is the final piece of butter. I'm going to add that and let it work its way in. Alright, I'm going to let this knead now for about 8 to 10 minutes. Okay, we finally have it to where I want it. It can stretch a window pane very easily. So I'm going to take it off of the bowl, and I'm going to get all this stuff from around the side. Okay, our dough has risen. It's doubled in size. I'm going to take it out. It took mine just a little more than an hour to rise. So I'm just going to knead in the fruit. I'm going to put half of it in and kind of fold it in. Then make another pocket for it. Put it in. Flip it over, do it again. Alright. I'm going to knead that a few times just to make sure that it gets evenly distributed. Then I'm going to form it into a tight ball. Then I've got my wrapper. You don't have to do anything to it. Just place the dough into its little paper pan. And now I'm going to let this rise for 45 minutes to an hour until it's just peeking over the paper. And then I'll bake it. In the last 10 minutes, put your oven on to about 400. Okay, you can see here that our dough it's just risen above the top of the page, and because I'm using this baker, I'm going to keep it in a pan, sheet tray, whatever you want to put it in while it bakes. This will need to go into a 400-degree oven for 10 minutes, and then we're going to turn it down to 350, and we're going to let it cook for another 35 minutes. It should be done when the internal temperature is 190 degrees. And the good thing about these paper things is you can just poke it through the paper if you want to see where it is. Now when it comes out, I'll show you what we do to it for cooling. And here is our panettone after it came out of the oven. If you don't like it this dark on the top, you can, in the last 10 or 15 minutes in the oven, you can put in, but I actually like the darkness of this. It'll be studded with fruit. One thing that you do need to do though is put some skewers in each side and let it flip upside down and cool upside down. It's very tender on the inside, and it does better if you let it cool. Thank you so much for joining me here on Big Daddy Bakes. If you like what we do on the channel, please consider liking, subscribing, and also sharing with a friend. Thank you so much.